Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel. They lived with their father, who was a poor woodcutter, and their cruel stepmother. Often they went to bed hungry. One night they heard their stepmother say, "We have only enough food for ourselves. Tomorrow we will have to take the children into the woods and leave them there." Gretel cried and cried, but Hansel had a plan. "Don't worry," he said to Gretel. "I will look after you." Once everyone was asleep, Hansel crept outside and filled his pockets with white pebbles. Then he went back to bed. The next day, their stepmother and father took them into the woods. Please don't do that. It's gross. Hansel stayed back, and as they walked away, he dropped the pebbles onto the path. When they were in the middle of the woods, their father made a big fire. Their stepmother told them that she and their father were going to collect more wood. She told the children they would come back for them later, but they did not come back. Gretel began to cry. Hansel said, "Don't worry. When the moon comes out, we will find our way home." At last the moon came out, and the white pebbles shone brightly in the moonlight. Hansel and Gretel followed the trails of pebbles all the way back home. When their father saw them, he was so pleased. Their stepmother, however, was not happy. That night, they heard her say, "Tomorrow we will have to take the children deeper into the woods and leave them there."
Mom, why is the mother so angry?
I don't know. She doesn't like the little children, I guess. When everyone was asleep, Hansel crept downstairs to get some more pebbles, but this time the door was locked. He went back to bed empty-handed and very sad. The next day, their stepmother woke them up early. She gave them each a piece of bread, then she took them deep into the woods. As they walked along, Hansel dropped crumbs of bread onto the path behind them. They reached the deepest part of the woods where their stepmother told them to wait. She said she would be back for them later. Hansel and Gretel waited, but she did not come back. Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, and soon it grew dark. Hansel said, "Don't worry. When the moon comes out, we will follow the trail of breadcrumbs home." At last, the moon came out, but Hansel and Gretel could not see the breadcrumbs. The hungry birds had eaten them all. Hansel and Gretel were lost in the woods and spent the night huddled together. The next day, when they awoke, they saw a white bird singing in a tree. It had such a lovely call that they followed it. The white bird led them to the strangest cottage. They could not believe their eyes. The cottage was made of gingerbread and candy of every kind. The children were so hungry that they broke off candy to eat and failed to notice the old woman watching them.
Where's the old woman? Where's the old woman? The woman watching the children.
She's right up there in the window watching the kids.
Yeah.
The cottage door opened and the old woman came out. She invited them inside and gave them pancakes, but she was really only pretending to be nice. Really, she was a wicked witch. The wicked witch locked Hansel in a cage, and she made Gretel scrub the floor. Every day, the wicked witch fed Hansel huge meals. She was fattening him up to eat him. So Hansel played a trick on her. When she reached in the cage to feel how fat he was, he stuck out a chicken bone. The wicked witch could not see well, so she thought it was his finger. She was disappointed that he was not getting any fatter. One day, the wicked witch decided to eat Hansel anyway, even if he was too thin. She told Gretel to get into the oven to check that it was hot enough. She was really planning to eat Gretel as well. Clever Gretel pretended she did not know how, so the wicked witch said she would show her. Gretel saw her chance. She shoved the wicked witch inside the oven and quickly locked the door. Then she freed Hansel from the cage. Hansel and Gretel found some precious pearls in the witch's cottage too. In the witch's cottage, the wicked witch's cottage. "These are better than pebbles," said Hansel. "We can take them back for father." So he put some pearls in his pocket. They left the cottage, and at last they found the path home. Their father was overjoyed to see them again and told them that their stepmother had died while they were gone. Hansel gave him the pearls from the wicked witch's cottage. They were able to buy lots of food with the pearls, and they all lived happily ever after.
Mom, can you open these chips?